Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping right through the doors of one of the most bizarre and honestly fascinating locations imaginable. We're exploring a sprawling modern mansion located in one of the country's most exclusive neighborhoods. But here's the catch. This immense property wasn't abandoned because of a bankruptcy or a financial collapse or, a traditional tragedy. No. It was abandoned because of a bitter, highly contentious divorce. We're going to walk through the remains of what was once a couple's ultimate dream and see just how quickly a luxury home transforms into a dusty, mold-covered nightmare when human emotion completely takes over. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. 150 million Swedish kroner. That is the estimated value of this palace. To put that into perspective, we're talking about an absolute fortune in real estate, top-tier design, and architecture. And yet, this massive fortune was unapologetically left behind to rot. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around walking away from that kind of wealth, isn't it? But, well, as we're about to see, logic rarely dictates the terms of a really messy breakup. So, this wasn't about the bank foreclosing on them. It was purely about anger. Basically, neither person in this relationship was willing to back down and let the other person have the house. They couldn't agree on a split, so they forced a 150 million kroner stalemate. They literally walked out, leaving everything behind. I mean, we're talking from luxury cars sitting right there in the garage to deeply personal family items, simply because they just couldn't come to an agreement. It's wild.
All right, let's start our spatial narrative. Section 1. Echoes in the foyer.
Imagine you're walking up this sprawling, incredibly long driveway. At the very end of it, you're greeted by these massive, heavy oak double doors that honestly feel more like a medieval fort than a house. You push past those doors, step inside, and the natural light is just incredible. It's pouring in from ceilings that are an astonishing 10 meters high. But then you look up, and painted right there on the foyer wall is this haunting phrase, "Tid för en gång," which translates from Swedish to "once upon a time." It's a really chilling detail, right? To see this fairy tale-like phrase painted in a house that's actively decaying, it feels like a cruel joke. This house was built for a shared future, and now it's just a silent time capsule.
Moving down into the living room, the sheer scale of the place hits you. It features a massive open floor plan, and the ceilings are so high here, you literally wouldn't even need artificial lights during the day. There's this stunning double-sided fireplace covered entirely in marble, and the sofas look like something sourced straight out of a royal palace. But the most shocking part? The floor is entirely covered in scattered designer bags and shoes. It genuinely looks as though this couple dropped whatever they were holding and walked right out the door mid-stride.
Which brings us to Section 2, rotting luxury in the kitchen.
Now, if you were stepping into this room right now, you'd seriously need to brace yourself, because the visceral, horrifying smell of rotting, decaying food would hit you instantly. When they angrily stormed out of this house, they left the refrigerator absolutely full of groceries, and this brilliantly illustrates the absurd contrast of this mansion. On one hand, you have multi-million kroner Viking appliances, luxury stoves that literally cost as much as a brand new car. But on the other hand, the reality of abandonment. Those same pristine, high-end appliances are now covered in flies, maggots, and putrid rot. It's this extreme head-on collision between unimaginable wealth and grotesque misery.
Then you glance over to the breakfast nook, and you find this haunting forensic clue. Unwashed plates, still sitting right there in the sink. It's a complete freezing of time. You're looking at the remnants of what was very likely their last meal together before the argument exploded. The stalemate was reached, and their life as they knew it just fell apart.
Ascending this massive, sweeping spiral staircase, the first thing you notice is the sheer expense. The intricately handcrafted railings alone must have cost millions to install. But as you climb higher, the reality of neglect sets in fast. Deep cracks are appearing in the plaster, and dark mold is aggressively taking over the walls. The physical decay of the structure visually mirrors the emotional breakdown of the family itself. It's almost as if the house is physically mourning the people who disappeared.
Moving on to Section 3, secrets of the master bedroom.
Honestly, calling this a bedroom just doesn't do it justice. It's a massive, sprawling, apartment-like space, boasting those incredible 10-meter-high ceilings once again. But the real story? That's found when we investigate the his and hers closets. Her closet is packed to the brim. There are hundreds of expensive designer dresses hanging gracefully on their hangers. Right below them, totally unused Prada and Gucci shoes. But the ultimate casualty hanging there is her wedding dress. It is so hard to believe that someone could be so angry, so consumed by spite, that they would leave their own wedding dress behind to rot. It tells such a profound story of heartbreak and fury, doesn't it?
Now across the room is his closet, and it presents a really compelling mystery. On one side, we find racks of expensive, custom-tailored suits, all just left there to absorb the damp, moldy air. But on the other side, there's a collection of high-end watch boxes, and every single one of them is completely empty. So it makes you wonder, did the husband grab his watches in a frantic, hurried exit, or have looters already bypassed the security, found this place, and scavenged the most easily portable valuables?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what was tossed carelessly in a nearby drawer: active credit cards and valid passports. You don't just forget those items. To leave behind your legal identities, your means of international travel, and your direct access to money, that proves a desperate, overpowering need to flee the premises immediately and never, ever look back.
Right next door is the master bathroom, and I just have to ask, who puts carpet in a bathroom? Seriously! The entire room is covered wall to wall in this lavish, insanely expensive pink marble, and then, right around the base of the bathtub, they decided to install wall-to-wall carpet. It is certainly a unique interior design choice for sure, and one that is failing miserably now that the thick fabric is absorbing all the ambient moisture trapped in the house.
But, if you can look past the undeniably ugly, now super moldy carpet, you'll see exactly why they built the bathroom here. Sitting in that tub gives you a breathtaking, dreamlike view of a serene lake and a dense, beautiful forest right outside the window. At one point in time before the anger took over, living here and looking out that window must have been an absolute dream.
Okay, finally, Section 4, Total Decay in the Basement.
So, from the heights of the master suite, we're heading all the way down into the dark, damp depths of this place. And this wasn't just some basic basement storage area. Oh no, this was the ultimate man cave. It featured a custom-built bar intricately shaped like a vintage ship, a full-size billiard table, and a dedicated luxury home theater. But today, this ultimate entertainment space is completely destroyed. The extreme dampness and total lack of basic climate control have allowed thick mold to coat absolutely everything down here.
When you abandon a property of this magnitude, the death of the house actually happens surprisingly fast. Let's break it down. In month 1, the heating is shut off permanently. By month 3, ambient moisture becomes trapped in the basement with nowhere to vent. Fast forward to month 6, and condensation creates water that steadily drips from the ceiling while mold aggressively blooms over all the furniture. And by month 12, the actual structural integrity begins to fail. Walking down there now is a bizarre, genuinely gross sensory experience. The floor is turned completely spongy and soft right under your feet. Because you see, this house wasn't just left empty, it was essentially left to die.
It has been a tragic exploration, seeing so much money, effort, and love poured into a literal palace, only for it to rot away in the dark. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Is any argument really worth walking away from your entire life? It's a powerful reminder of how pride, stubbornness, and anger can completely destroy a beautiful dream. Take a moment to reflect on that. And hey, if you found this explainer as fascinating as I did, drop a comment below on which room stood out to you the most. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.